Hi guys, it's Mattias, and in today's video I'd like to continue the previous discussion from a video I made a couple of days ago called Let's Talk Gaming, or well, I even forgot the title actually. Now, one of the things that I see being a problem of gaming, I see two major problems, or there are two major problems that I want to focus on this video, and unfortunately maybe just one or two solutions to these problems, but we'll see. And I will of course welcome your input into this as well. Now, I decided to go out in the forest a little bit. It's a really nice day and there's a lot of people outside, and you know, people get a little bit uncomfortable when they see a camera, so I decided to go away where I can be a little bit left by myself. So when it comes to the games that I've been playing lately, as you know, those are the battlefields and those very few, very selected games that normally is called AAA title. The word AAA title is used a lot in Web3 gaming, when in fact there are almost none of these games that actually meet the criteria of a true AAA title. But that's not really the problem that I want to talk about, even though that is an interesting topic as well. No, you see, one of the main problems that I see with, first of all, creating good games, if we start there, is that right now, based on a lot of research that I've been doing, checking out all these new upcoming Web3 games, is that there seems to be a massive problem in ratio, if you would say so, between the amount of game projects that are being developed and the amount of actual game developers that are available to develop said games. Now, I don't have any numbers on this, and I wish I did, but the way it is right now, there are so many game projects that seem to have like just a few, maybe a dozen developers, and it's becoming more and more difficult to determine whether or not these so-called developers actually knows how to develop games, because it doesn't really seem like it. And I think there's a lot of human emotions, human ego playing into this. And what we've seen with, especially with technology, the moment there is some kind of new technology happening, people that are really into this technology have a tendency to believe that they're a little bit above other people. They know so much. They know this technology, and they believe they are more intelligent, and they look down on the previous technology or whatever that they supposedly now are going to replace. And what I've seen from this, and I've seen a lot of crypto games, or Web3 games, what I see is basically every one of these Web3 game, they can create a token, or normally they can create two tokens, because of course you have to have a governance token also. That's important, right? It sounds cool. Yeah, they have two tokens and they have an abundance of NFTs, right? So my experience, all of them can do that, but very few of them seem to be able to make an actual good game. Now, that being said, important to understand is that making games takes a lot of time, and in the Web3 game communities, we get to see games in a much earlier stage than in traditional games. So that's important to point out. Now, another problem that I see is of course cheating. And not only does it seem like there is no real solution for this, even among the most established game developers out there, but when you look at Web3 game developers, basically every personality, they constantly keep repeating the thing that in a traditional game you risk being banned, or if you get banned you risk losing all your assets because the assets belongs to the game company. And they present this as a big problem, when in fact the big problem in gaming is that when people get banned, it doesn't really have any repercussion. Being banned doesn't matter, it doesn't mean anything. And that's one of the reasons why we can't ever get rid of cheating. Now, I've tried to confront some people in the Web3 spaces with this argument, and Well, the obvious argument, and this is actually true, is that you can be wrongfully banned, right? Trust me, I know. I was banned from for 7 days by EA Games, and when I disputed it, I said, I was wondering, why did you ban me? What have I actually done? And the only reply I got was the word Hitler. That was the only reply, and I was like, okay, so this is obviously something from the stream, because I have never typed anything that belongs to EA, whether game or in a chat, where I've used the word Hitler ever. But after going through some of my streams, I found that about a week or so before that ban, there was a guy in the opposite team that wrote some Nazi shit in the game chat, and I pointed it out and I criticized DICE for allowing this. So that is the only thing that got me banned. And of course it's just a coincidence that me being a Battlefield 1 player, I got banned just when there was an important update for Battlefield 2042. So of course there's no relationship to that, right? The fact that they don't want people streaming Battlefield 1 when Battlefield 2042 has a new map. Now, this of course is a valid argument, but it is even me who has been banned for it, even me, I would say that this is a microscopic fraction of a problem compared to the problems with cheating. And if you, not only have I never really heard any arguments or anything that anyone in the Web3 communities, any of the personalities in the Web3 communities, they've never really pointed out the problem with cheating or any solutions of how to deal with it. But instead they go the opposite way and promote their games as if you get banned, you still have all your assets. I mean, you're basically promoting cheating that way. And eventually this is gonna catch up with these people. And eventually they have to realize this problem, right? So this is one of the biggest problems. These are the two problems that I want to focus on today, that is. Now, solving these problems. Well, one of the problems that I see with the fact that games, the fact that there are, if we go back to the first problem with too many game projects per developer, so to speak, that ratio. What I would like to see is when you have a promising game, like a Green Rabbit, a very promising, very underrated game, or games like I don't know, like if you go to the more well-known Star Atlas or Phantom Galaxies or some of those, is that instead of creating a new game, instead of trying to come out with a new brand or something like that, approach these already existing games and make a game mode. And this goes back to one of the most successful games in human history, I think, and that is Counter-Strike. Most of you guys know it from CS:GO, which is the previous big hit in the Counter-Strike series. But Counter-Strike is actually just a mod. A lot of people don't know that. Counter-Strike is a mod made by two gaming enthusiasts from a game called Half-Life. Now, Half-Life was a massive success way back when. I played Half-Life 2. I didn't play the original one, but Half-Life 2 was one of the first single-player games that I ever actually really enjoyed. And the fact that two guys can just make Counter-Strike, which has been a success story for over 20 years, they just made it out of an already existing game. And this is something that I think is needed for any of these upcoming, especially any of these upcoming Web3 games, or any of these what you call it, like indie games and stuff like that. If you have a good foundation for something, build from it. Don't come out with a new game. And there are many success stories like this. Like, for example, the whole emergence of Battle Royale games. And basically every Battle Royale game out there, well, except of course maybe the most important one or the most successful one that I mentioned in the last video, Fortnite. But if you look at all the other games that came before that and that build up that franchise, so to speak, or that genre, that's the right word. Those games were that was just an add-on to an already existing game. Now, at the time that I saw this, I was playing H1Z1, and the original game was a zombie survival game, quite advanced actually, with base building and all that stuff. And Battle Royale was it looked very, very simple, but to a lot of people very exciting last man standing Battle Royale, and that was the game that later became successful. And funny as it is, as we talk about cheating, is that H1Z1, the original game, the reason why it died is mainly, in my opinion, based on cheating, and not only the lack of repercussions if you get banned, but the amount of effect it has to those people that get killed or lose their stuff due to cheating. Because it has a massive effect if you get killed by a cheater. You know, there's many hours, many days of gameplay that's just lost, while at the same time a cheater, if getting banned, can just create a new account and just keep cheating. And yes, I would say that one of the reasons why H1Z1 died is because of cheating. So, adding to an existing game is what I believe is going to be the future of gaming, or it is going to be one of the ways that any game can be successful. Another good example, in my opinion, is Fallout. I started playing Fallout, or the first Fallout I played was Fallout 3. Now, a few years later, there was a game called Fallout New Vegas that was released in the same franchise. And the thing that made, like, a lot of the new features, or basically all the new features in Fallout New Vegas, was basically just mods that were created by enthusiasts for Fallout 3. There's a lot of, if I can remember, the spotting perk of Bone. I remember one of the characters that you can have as one of the NPCs you can have as a companion. His name was Bone. And also aiming down sight, that was just a mod from Fallout 3, and a lot of these stuff. I can't remember it all now because it was a long time ago, but modding, I believe, is an important possible solution to creating better and more interesting, more immersive games from an already existing game. And I think that is more important than creating a lot of new games. I think that's going to have a bigger effect. So yeah, let me know what you think about my thoughts in this video, because I'd like to have an ongoing discussion about that. And thank you all for watching.